Last year was another record-breaking year for white supremacist propaganda incidents in the United States, with more than 7,500 cases recorded in 2023. It's according to a new report from the Anti-Defamation League. It is the second year in a row the record was broken. The ADL revealed the figure in its annual white supremacist propaganda report. And joining us now to break down those findings, the CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt. Jonathan, thanks for being with us as always. A dubious record to break again this year, of course. What all did you see? What are the areas of greatest concern?
Well, thanks for having me, Willie. Indeed, white supremacists and right-wing extremists who may have a hard time showing up in some public places actively use propaganda in order to target, to intimidate, and to victimize minorities. Last year, indeed, the second year in a row, we broke a very new and dubious record. We saw over 7,500 of such propaganda incidents, a 141% increase in anti-LGBTQ propaganda. There's terrible, terrible hatred directed at trans people in particular, and a 30% increase in anti-Semitic propaganda. And we saw for the first time really out in the open this convergence, Willie, of right-wing extremist white supremacist language with left-wing radical anti-Zionist language. You're seeing the same people who hate Jews for a long time celebrating the 10/7 attack. So there's this weird and sort of twisted marriage between these, again, right-wing extremists and left-wing anti-Zionists we haven't really seen before. These were happening in all 50 states, with the exception of Hawaii and Alaska. And there's a handful of groups that are driving this, groups with names like National Justice Party or Patriot Front that come off as being pro-America when they are really nothing more than pro-hate.
Jonathan, it's been a couple of years now since Chris Wray, the FBI director, testified in Congress that white supremacy was the biggest terrorist threat to Americans. Do you get any sense that the federal government is trying to do anything or having any success in combating anti-Semitism, particularly from these far-right groups? Does anything work?
Patty, it's a really important question. We have found the FBI, federal, state, local law enforcement to be very focused on the problem. And indeed, you need to be tracking these people, arresting and prosecuting them to the fullest extent of the law. And when propaganda moves from expressing an idea to inciting violence, there's grounds to do something about it. So definitely law enforcement has a role to play. And again, I will tell you, Director Wray and all of the folks that we deal with at DHS, et cetera, have been really, really vigilant. But I will say, Caddy K, their efforts are somewhat hamstrung by the social media companies. I mean, literally what we're seeing in places like TikTok, and I mean, I get when it's on Truth Social. I guess I have to accept that it's going to be on Parler and these far-right extremist platforms. But when it moves to TikTok, when it moves to Instagram, when it's popular on Facebook, that's when I know we have a problem, because the companies seem either incapable or unwilling to do something to clamp down this hate. I mean, that's how it's happening, Caddy. These actors, again, far-right extremists in particular, radical anti-Zionists, they coordinate online, they mobilize their people, they spread the flyers, and that's how they end up in people's front lawns, you know, tacked onto synagogues, in front of LGBTQ centers. It's really loathsome.
You know, Donnie Deutsch, I'll let you ask Jonathan the next question. I'll yield to you. I do want to say, though, we're talking about far-right anti-Semitism. Sad fact is we have it on the far right. We have it on the far left. And we have it, and I hear it all the time, on college campuses. It has gotten so extreme on many college campuses. I've heard firsthand, you can't even talk about a two-state solution without being accused of being a Zionist. You can't talk about peace between the Palestinians and the Jews without being called a Zionist. Jonathan Chait wrote this for New York Magazine. This week, the president of the main pro-Palestinian student group at the University of Michigan shared and then deleted a social media message saying this: "Until my last breath, I will utter death to every single individual who supports the Zionist state. Death and more. Death and worse." University sent an email denouncing the message. While she may be an undergrad, this student's hardly anonymous. She was one of 4 undergraduates to receive the University of Michigan's Dr. Martin Luther King Spirit Award, honoring students, quote, "who best exemplify the leadership and extraordinary vision of the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr." It's absolutely bizarre. There's nobody that is less in line with the message of Dr. Martin Luther King than somebody that would talk about death and more, death and worse. Last month, the New York Times jointly profiled her and a pro-Israel activist in a story, presenting both as searching for common humanity. As dusk neared, they walked alone to a nearby campus building and sat together on a bench. Maybe this would be the chance to recognize one another's humanity, the Times reported. He needed to know why anti-Israel protesters had not forcefully condemned the deaths of Israeli civilians. And as Jonathan Chait said, I think that mystery has been cleared up. And Donnie, you cannot, on college campuses, on elite college campuses, it is hard to even bring up what happened on October 7th without being called a Zionist. It is hard for a student to not get canceled if they bring up the horrors of what happened on October 7th. There is in so many of these groups on college campuses, and I've seen it firsthand, I've heard about it firsthand, there's not just a plea, and I think a plea that we would all agree with, to save civilian lives in Gaza. There is an underlying hatred for Israel that's been there for years. I talked about Turning Point. You can also see other documentaries on World War II right now on Netflix that show how Jews have always been treated, the hatred for Jews. You see the hatred of Jews. Jonathan and I have been talking about this for years. It's been rising from the right. It's been rising on college campuses from the left. I was talking about this in Scarborough Country in 2003. Just such extremism against Jews on the right, far right, and on the far left.
You know, it's so beyond college campuses. Jonathan's group put out a survey that 1 in 4 Americans say they know someone that dislikes or hates Jews, and 1 in 4 Americans know somebody who is pro-Hamas. Pro-Hamas. That means you are pro-annihilating Israel. You are pro-killing Jews. And as Jonathan also pointed out, we're getting squeezed on 2 levels. We're getting squeezed from the right. We're getting squeezed from the left. And there's also another kind of anti-Semitism where you get squeezed, where on the one hand, people are anti-Semitic against Jews and the tropes of vermin and they're not humans. But on the other hand, they have too much. The Jews have too much. So they're getting squeezed from the left and the right and the top and the bottom. And those numbers are staggering and they're frightening. And it just sends chills through me.
Yeah, I mean, look, Donnie, I think Joe put his finger on something incredibly important. So Caddy asked before, well, the threat of far-right extremists. Here's the thing. When a student who's honored at the University of Michigan is praising and pleading for the death of Jews, why isn't she considered an extremist? So the far right, there's no white supremacist club at the University of Michigan that says these things. But by the way, the white supremacists say death to the Zionists. So why is it allowed that you have these students spewing this vile venom, making death threats against their peers? We should all be clear on this. Everyone on the panel, everyone watching me right now, when the white supremacists say death to the Zionists, everybody says that's wrong. Why is it okay when the radical left says death to the Zionists? We have got to all ask ourselves this. If you are concerned about white supremacy and that sort of extremism, and you should be, as Joe was just saying, you have got to be concerned, because these kids on these college campuses, guess where they're going? To your boardrooms. They're going to editorial boards. They're going to the assignment desk of news networks. People who say, death to the Zionists, I wish for that and worse. And if you wouldn't tolerate it, if someone is wearing a swastika on their arm, I'm sorry, you shouldn't tolerate it if they're wearing a keffiyeh on their neck.
Yeah. All right.
Calling death to anyone.
All right. CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt, thank you so much.